We are getting on in there this morning. It feels so funny to me that we just hung out last night, and I don't know about you all. I hope you got a better night's sleep than I did. We had several awake awake babies and tiny humans throughout the course of the night. But good morning. We're here. We are ready to dive into day two. And I have so much planned. Like, we're going to pack a lot into this training because, quite honestly, like, this is what kicked it off for me. So, I'm going to tell you, hey, Becca, good morning. Um, Quick story. So, like, remember yesterday when I said, like, why is it that somebody asked me recently, why is it that you can teach and train and coach as an intuitive life coach on the spiritual healing? Hey, Laura, about the moon, about cyclicality, because I've done it. Like, the reason is because I've done it and I've actually applied everything that I have learned. Good morning, Eva. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Amy. Um, to my life. And I am so convicted in this work. I'm so convicted in the depth that we're able to go, in all that we're able to embody when we know the truth of who we are. This stuff matters. And it was actually cyclicality that was the very first step on my intentional, participatory, spiritual transformation and truly like the embodiment of self. So cyclicality was the first stop for me. So of course, it's the first stop for us. Sinking to cyclicality. Yeah, Maya, good afternoon. Maya's coming in from Israel over there. We're all like, good morning, good morning. So good morning, my loves. Hello. As you're hopping on this morning, if you did any journaling last night about why you push down those intuitive feelings, what you're ready to release, what you're ready to do, feel free to share them in the chat, and we'll touch base on those this morning. Hi, Kate. Hi, Connie. Hi, Jackie. Good morning. So, cyclicality. Remember yesterday we talked about our intuition is a feeling, and it's a feeling based on nothing we might know, but everything that we know. It's a feeling based on wisdom. I'm going to pull up the definition I gave you um, for intuition. A thing that one knows, likely from, and sorry, this is the one that I couldn't read my own writing. A thing that one knows from, likely from an instinctive feeling rather than conscious reasoning. So cyclicality is all based on feeling and the ebb and the flow and the connective tissue between all that is natural. And our feelings are made up of the very same connective tissue within us. They are the way, the means with which we actually can connect to Mother Nature, to the moon, to the seasons. So understanding that you are not a linear being. You are not, ladies, I know that the world has trained us to get up in the morning, know our goals, run after them with our head down, forcing and pushing and hustling until we fall flat on our face at night. And then we've got to wake up and do it the next day. But that's actually not how we were designed, how we're literally wired to live. I had somebody say to me once, you're so good at teaching women how to work like a woman. And I said, oh, yes. And I'm not just talking about your day jobs, sisters. I'm talking about the inner work, the outer work. And I don't like just the word work. I like play, because we were created to play and to ebb and to flow. So good morning, Rita. I want to make sure I say hi to everybody. Hi, Kelly Collins. Maya, awesome, sharing with us some of her, I pushed my intuition down because of old, outdated familial programming. Yep. Mm-hmm. Good work, girl. Good work. So, the reason we know, ladies, that we are cyclical beings is because we actually have a cycle. And I don't know if you know my full story, but I didn't have a complete cycle for most of my life. In fact, I didn't get a natural period for 14 years of my life. Even when I was a teenager, I never had a period that showed up. Like I had one like that showed up twice a year. So there was already patterning and programming that was really impacting me on a cellular level to want to outrun the man, literally and figuratively, and force my way through and just never stop. I didn't learn. We're not often taught when we're little. Now we're going to teach our little ones, right? Because we're going to teach ourselves, but we're not often taught to work with our cycle, to honor our cycle. And so when we recognize that our cycle is just as important as the cycles outside of us, everything changes. Hi, Gretchen. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Anna. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. So let's dive in here. I've got my notes here because this is important stuff and I really want to make sure I touch upon everything, but I want to show you, I have this Astro Moon diary. I highly recommend this. And if you'd like this, please comment. I have an affiliate link for this. This journal, it's called Astro Moon Diary, but it's got so much about all that we're talking about in here. I'm going to pull some bits and pieces out of here, but it's also a calendar. And it helps you incorporate the moon and the Sabbats and the celebrations and the zodiac and everything in here. It's an amazing resource, and I'm going to utilize this as kind of like supportive evidence to really like hone in on what I already know. So let's sync to cyclicality and the seasons, shall we? Ladies, we are a microcosm of Mama Gaia. Mama Gaia is Mother Earth and the cosmos. We literally, and I'm not going to get all metaphysical and scientific on you, but we are made of the same star stuff as the earth itself, as the stars, as the moon. We are all made up of this beautiful magic that is within us. And we are living creatures who depend upon the elements just like everything else living around us. Awesome. I will say I'll find the link after and I'll give it to you guys just so I can keep going. But yeah, no, it's such a good calendar. We are creatures who depend upon the elements just like every other living entity you see out there. So I want to ask you this question. What makes us think that we are any different, better than, tougher than another naturally living, cyclically connected element out there? What makes you think you have more wisdom and that you are tougher than a tree who has been outside for 250 years, allowing herself to participate with the seasons, participate with the cycle? What makes you think that you can outsmart the moon? And I asked this like kind of tongue in cheek, and it's kind of a funny question to think about, but the way that we are got to get one of those, I'm so controlled by the moon spirits, same sister. And my rising sign is Cancer, and Cancer is actually the zodiac that's associated with the moon. It's really sacred. So, but I ask you, like, have you ever considered that before? How many of you do like a me? How many of you feel like you usually function in a go, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I've got too much to do. I'm too busy. I'm mom and I'm wife and I'm worker and I'm friend and I have to keep the house and do all the things. Like it's like that go, you're constantly on overdrive. How many of you feel like that's you? So I want to ask you a question. Do you think the moon decides she's just going to stay full the whole cycle long? Like, have you ever seen a moon cycle where the moon's like, you know what? I don't need to do this waxing and waning stuff. I'm just going to stay totally lit for 28, 29 days. Like, have you ever seen that before? No, because it's not natural. And ladies, we have been functioning against our natural superpowers our whole lives, and it's time to stop that. Because remember, our intuition is based on how we feel. And if we are living a life where we are depleting ourselves constantly, then we're going to feel pretty crappy. And so then we're going to start to make the decisions based on what makes sense rather than what we know to be true, because we're not working with our cycle. We're not working with what feels good to us. So I'm going to start with the moon, friends, and then I'm going to go into the seasons, because the seasons is super fun. But I'm such a moon goddess that I have to start there, and then we're gonna dive into the seasons. So, reading little excerpts from this diary about the moon itself. The moon in the astrology charts is a symbol for the soul, for the unconscious, and for the feminine. And remember, our intuition is based on a feeling, not of conscious thought, but of an unconscious knowing. The moon works. A full moon cycle is made up of, you can follow it a number of different ways. I follow 8 phases of the moon cycle. Each phase lasts about 3 to 4-ish days. And in every single one of those phases, there is different energy that we actually feel, because we are cyclical beings too. Oh, and by the way, our female cycle is 28, 29-ish days, and so is the moon cycle. Does anyone else find that really interesting? I mean, there's no coincidence in this, ladies. This is sacred connective tissue. Mama Moon represents the feminine. She represents the unconscious. She represents our feelings. And those are the things that we've been denying ourselves, trying to live up to somebody else's expectations. No more. No more, ladies. We are not meant to function like that anymore. We will not. We will not. So the moon naturally rules Cancer. As I said, the sign of the divine mother who birthed everything into existence. Think about our female cycle on a month-to-month basis. And then think about the cycle that is the microcosm of the macrocosm of, right? Like, we're going to get big and small, but we have a cycle so that we can give birth. I say that very tenderly, because I know I experienced it. My first 2 babies are IUI babies because I didn't allow myself to participate with my cycle. But the moon naturally rules Cancer, the sign of the divine mother who births everything into existence. Ladies, the moon participates with her phases. She honors them. It doesn't matter what else is going on down here or anywhere in the universe. The moon is still going to do her thing. So why won't we allow ourselves to do our thing, to function within our greatest magical, miraculous superpowers? This is how we birth things into existence. And I'm not just talking babies. I'm talking ideas. I'm talking creations. I'm talking birthing relationships, birthing experiences. We cannot think anymore that we can live in this tunnel vision, logistical thinking way of being anymore. The moon doesn't do it. We are not greater than the moon. Mama Moon moves about 13 degrees each day. I just think this is cool. Moving through all the signs in about 27, 28, 29-ish days. She moves through all the signs in 27 to 28 days. She moves through all her phases in about 29.5 days. This is why during different times of the year, we've got different zodiacs that lead the way. We're going to talk about zodiacs later this week because it's so interesting. But we've got zodiacs that lead the way, and Mama Moon lands within different zodiacs at different times, helping us to really work with the elements and with the energy that is associated with those zodiacs. It is so cool. Mama Moon governs the unconscious. And this is during each phase, we've got different superpowers. During the new moon, which is where we plant the seeds, which is where we actually can't see the moon in the sky. We're starting a new cycle here. The dark is the place of transformation and gestation. So I want you to think about this, right? We're just getting started in this challenge. You don't really know what to expect. We don't really know what we're going to find when we uncover, when we start to like peel back the layers that are you and your natural intuition and your unconscious self and your truth. But we are planting these seeds in this belief, in this deep knowing, because this is the place for transformation and gestation. Make sure that I got everything there. I did. Excellent. So the moon governs our emotions, our feelings, and she is the greatest representation of cyclicality. So giving you some kind of like tidbits. There are 8, and I've got all of this available in my Moon Cycle Collective. In True You Tent, we go super deep in moon trainings and meditations and really working with the cycles. But there are 8 phases that I follow. There are 4 from new moon to full moon, and 4 from full moon back to new moon. In each of those phases, they wax and wane. There's the yin and the yang. There's the ebb and the flow. So in the first phase, it's an active go phase, followed by a rest and a be phase, followed by an active and go phase, followed by a rest and a be phase. So even the moon's energy honors the give and the receive, the do and the be, the masculine and the feminine. And I want you to think about this. When we show up for each phase in a way that is in alignment of the energy, we guarantee we're going to show up for the other ones in alignment with the energy. Can you imagine if you allowed yourself to go when it was time to go and rest when it was time to rest, just how satisfying the next phase would be? Imagine going all out. It's a go phase, it's a do phase, it's an action phase. Imagine going all out and utilizing the reserves, utilizing the superpowers that you have within you to their fullest extent. That would make the next phase, that resting phase, even more delicious and sensual and enjoyable to fully recover, to fully allow yourself to be present with being and honoring that rest, because it's just as important as that go phase again. And then of course, what would happen if you fully allowed yourself to participate with the rest and with the being and the opening up and the breathing? You would rejuvenate. You would fully rejuvenate so that when the energy is there, you're ready to go again. We have been like a fish swimming upstream for too long, ladies. And intuitively, you know this to be true. Have you ever had one of those moments where it's like, I just need to relax. I just need to rest? I actually had this recently. I have some back stuff, lower back pain, that is representative of a whole lot of stuff, and it's physically painful when it's physically painful. And over the final months of 2020, intuitively, I kept getting these whispers. We need massage, because I go to a chiropractor, I exercise, I eat well, but I could hear the whispers. We need muscular support. We need a massage. But logistically, a massage sounds so foo-foo. It sounds so like indulgence. It sounded right. Like, so these are all judgments that I was placing up here when deep down I was like, my body needs this. It needs this. I went to my chiropractor. I think it was in November. Go to her weekly. And she goes, you know what? Because I walked in, I had tears streaming down my face. I was in a lot of pain. And she goes, all right, we need next level support here. I really, really, really think that you need to go to a masseuse. And my chiropractor gave me her masseuse. She's got a masseuse in her office, and she sent me to the person that takes care of her because she knew exactly what I needed. And as soon as she said it, I was like, I know that I need that. My physical body needs that. My muscles are so tight, for lack of better words. I mean, they're pretty destroyed in some of the places. I need massage. And isn't it interesting how I try to say, I don't have enough time for that. I'm a mom of 3 kids. I'd have to ask my husband to watch the kids during the day when on a day that he's home. Like all this bullshit where I knew deep down what I needed. This is what working cyclically helps you with. Because when we stop trying to swim upstream, when we stop trying to resist what's present, what if we looked at everything as a present, as a gift, as an opportunity? When the energy feels good, awesome, I feel good, I'm going to maximize on this. When the energy asks you to rest, awesome, I'm going to rest because I'm not going to be resting forever. And so wouldn't it be nice if I actually allowed my body to recover? If I actually gave myself the opportunity to rejuvenate, right? What this does is it helps you not only sync to your natural rhythm and cycle, helps you to literally feel and connect with the rhythm and the energy that is cyclicality in nature, but it helps you to reconnect with those whispers within you, because all of the energy that cyclicality represents is deeper than what we can logicalize up here. It has everything to do with that knowing within us that's based on not a conscious thought. So let me just touch base with my notes from yesterday. Okay. Questions on the moon. Does anyone have any questions on the moon? I can talk about the moon in fact, I do. So, and even though I'm post-surgical menopause and have no period, I still think I have a cycle. You do. You absolutely do. I'm so glad you said that because I meant to say that. I still think I have a cycle and the moon controls me when full. Yes, totally. Gretchen, I need massages too. Yes. Like, why do we judge ourselves so deeply about what we know we need? Because guess what? If you give yourself what you know you need, you live a happier life, right? Remember what we talked about yesterday, asking yourself what you want and working with that and allowing that to be okay? I like to think I've learned better, but I still catch myself in the pattern. Danielle, yep, totally. Okay. Everyone has a cycle. Jackie, I don't have an actual cycle either. Yes. So we can go about this in one of 2 ways. I'm so glad you guys mentioned this. Thank you, ladies. When I didn't have a period, I worked with the moon cycle. Because our female cycle and the moon cycle are the same length of time, and they actually ebb and flow in a way that is just beautifully connected. I have an image that I've created too that I will share in this space that will help you a lot, because it shows the female cycle and the moon cycle together. I had to do this. I'm a visual person, so I had to create this image for myself because I needed to see what was going on, really, and see where things lined up. So, Maria, I need massages and have been missing this since COVID. Yeah, totally. Yeah, see? Everyone go get a massage. You're welcome. So the moon cycle and our female cycle align beautifully, and it's just amazing and super magical to see that taking place. When I didn't have a period, I couldn't track things based on my cycle. I couldn't make any sense and patterning of my feelings based on the cycle, but I could follow the moon and ask myself, how am I feeling today and where is the moon? This is going to be part of your homework, friends. How am I feeling today and where is the moon? It's all I tracked, because I didn't have a physical representation of my cycle in completion. But what I started to realize was that at different times of the moon cycle, different phases, I felt different ways always, right? Ladies of the True You tent, when's the time that I like to go into my own little hole and like curl up with a blankie and just like cry and feel super tender? It's during the disseminating moon. I know this of myself. I've tracked this time and time again. I've tried to pretend. There have been months that I'm like, no, that's not real. And then I get slammed in the face because I feel super tender during this time. So if you don't have a period anymore for any different reason, you still have a cycle, but utilizing the the energies of the moon cycle is going to be what you want to base yourself off of. If you do have a period, if you do feel like you have a complete cycle, then tracking the days of your period and your feelings is going to change everything. And then throwing the moon in there is just going to be super fun for you to witness. Okay, on this day of my female cycle, the moon is here, I'm feeling this. It's really interesting to see what happens. So if you don't find that you can connect with your female cycle, we work with the moon. If you do find you can connect with your female cycle, you work with your cycle. And the point is, how do I feel at different parts during the cycle? What's coming through for me? When do I need to rest? When do I need to go? When do I need to really take a lot of care nutritionally because I just feel off, and it stabilizes me to make sure I'm eating really well? When do I need to schedule the social events? When do I need to pull back? All of this, as you start to become aware. Remember yesterday we said how do we start tapping into our intuition? Listen, observe, visit, experience. This is like the observation time. When we're tracking, we're listening. Okay, how am I feeling? Where's the moon? Where's my cycle? And then the observing time is like, oh, I thought I was just a crazy person during the full moon, but it turns out I really feel the energy super deeply. So like I need to make sure that I'm busy during that time because I have such good creative energy and I just need to get it out. And then in the disseminating moon, I'll allow myself to rest. Been tracking this for months. Oh my God, the insights. I know. I always love the moon. Now I'm getting to know her. It's just amazing. I know. If you have an IUD, great point, Gretchen. I have an IUD, which causes no period for me, just little evidence, no bleeding. So go with the moon. If you have any synthetic birth control that you utilize, go with the moon, because synthetic birth control does tamper with the hormones. I mean, that's the point of them. So go with the moon and start to track your rhythm and your feelings based on Mama Moon. Moon mood. Oh, that's so cool. I love that, Eva. Cool. Okay. Cool. Now, all right, so that's Mama Moon, who is, to me, the greatest representation of cyclicality ever. But I really want to steer us into seasons because I think this is pretty groundbreaking to have a conversation about, even though we experience it every day of the year in some way, shape, or form. So by connecting to Mother Earth, we connect to, listen to this. And also remember, ladies, hashtag trust your intuition challenge. If I say something that you're like, oh my gosh, that's quote worthy, take a picture, type up the words if you want to, hashtag trust your intuition challenge, and tag me. So that we can spread all the wisdom and knowledge that is being shared here. By connecting with Mother Earth, we connect to the rhythm, vibration, and energy of the cycles that live within her and within us. I want you to hear this clearly. If intuition is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning, then it's based on a feeling. Feeling the rhythm of Mother Earth's cycle reconnects us. It reconnects us to her. It reconnects us with that deep knowing, that unconscious knowing. We feel different each season. I say this a lot, actually. Do you think it's reasonable to expect yourself to perform the same way in January that you do in July? Is that reasonable? I don't think so. I used to think so. No, I used to shame myself. When it turned out I couldn't, it didn't feel right, I would shame myself because, well, if I can do it then, why can't I do it now? Ladies, our bodies are primed to function different ways during different times of the year. Just like with the moon phase, we are not meant to be doing the same thing every single day. We're not meant to be working the same way every single season as well. Now, within each season, each season has their own unique opportunity for waxing and waning, for ebbing and flowing, for doing and being. Each season has its own opportunity for doing and being. But comparing winter to summer is like comparing chocolate to kale in terms of the energy that is present. And I want to bring your awareness to this. So much of that, so much of this challenge is bringing awareness to things that are naturally happening around you, but you haven't allowed yourself to sink into, to connect into for a long time. And when I say sink here, I mean like hooking up, like plug your phone into the wall, syncing up to the internet, syncing to the energy that is available at each season. Listen to this, our body and our experience can be trusted. What if you lived your life? My very best friend said this to me last week. She goes, your body can be trusted. And it blew me away. Your body can be trusted. Just like Mama Moon has wisdom within her, just like Mother Earth. She grows plants and then they die so that they can grow again. There is wisdom there. There is magic there. Your body can be trusted. Your experience can be trusted, just like we trust that the trees that let their leaves fall during autumn, that appear dead outside during winter, will start to bud again in the spring and fully flourish during summer. I've never not trusted that. I've never thought this is going to be the year. No trees are going to bud this year. There are going to be no leaves this year. I have never thought that. I trust that that's going to happen. And ladies, in order to tap into your intuition, there gets to be that deeper level of trust within you. Trusting that when you allow yourself to rest, you will come back. You will birth again. And after you birth, you must release to allow yourself to rest. Our intuition is held in the unconscious, deep knowing that is us. Mama Gaia is doing a pretty good job trusting hers. Mama Moon is doing a pretty good job trusting hers. It's time, ladies. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Excellent. Why not work with? Why not work with the seasons instead of against it? Ebb and flow, wax and wane. I circled this in my notes. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it exactly. It's kind of what I touched upon before, but I like quotables. So if we maximize on one season and commit every day to do so in each, we will actually complete the cycle optimally and with harmony. We talked about harmony yesterday. So let's talk about the seasons. And I'm gonna actually present to you the Wheel of the Year for the first time. We're gonna talk about the Wheel of the Year a couple different times. This is a beautiful picture to represent the Wheel of the Year. I teach this in the True You Tense, and we actually participate with the Wheel of the Year. How many of you, be honest, how many of you have been so scared of winter in the past? How many of you have braced yourself for winter? And I know it's going to depend on where you live, but I live in Maine. Like, our winters get very cold. I think it's 22 degrees outside right now. In the past, I always braced myself for the cold and the harshness. What I realized, especially over this past year, is the reason I did that is because I didn't take care of myself during the winter. I didn't dress appropriately. We can always put another layer on. But more than that, winter represents a time of going inward, rejuvenating. To me, not doing, not going, felt like death. It felt like I was dying. Outside, everything looks like it's dying. But I resisted that so much until I started really participating with the Wheel of the Year and the celebrations that take place throughout the Wheel of the Year based on ancient wisdom and divine feminine tradition and ceremony. We're going to get to that later this week. But each year, if you think about it as a wheel, we're always going to be moving forward throughout the wheel. We know that the seasons are going to change? What if we allowed ourselves to change with them? How much better care would we take care of ourselves? How much deeper would we hear the whisperings? During winter, we're actually asked to bundle up, cozy in, take care of you, rest, grab a mug of coffee, and just rest. And during that rest, it's like an active rest, because during rest, we're still taking action, and that action we're taking is receiving. Can you imagine just breathing out? Is that possible, to only breathe out? No, we must breathe in. Breathing in is just as crucial to breathing out, because we couldn't survive without one or the other. The seasons represent that for us. Winter, you can go about hating it, but what that's doing is it's actually you resisting the gifts that are available to you. What if you allowed yourself to just cozy on in and receive? Receive the downloads that come when you take it easy. Because you know what? Here's what. No new thoughts are going to come in while you're functioning and going on an old thought. You can't listen as you're talking, right? This works in a cycle. And so during the busier times of the year, when you have the ideas and you've got the inspiration, you're go, 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 like, let's go, let's do this. During that time, you are actually taking action based off a previous thought. But if we don't give ourselves the time to receive thoughts, we're going to be busy working ourselves to death. And I don't know about you, but I've got big work to do in this world. And it's really fun to see how that big work transforms over time, but I can't constantly be working if I expect it to transform. Our thoughts lead to the inspiration, but we must give ourselves the opportunity to receive them first. Lisa, I don't like winter at all until this year when I took the entire month off to feel and reflect. Well done. It's been a powerful few weeks, I'm sure. Anna, I cut off 8 inches of my hair when winter began. I needed a break of the long hair. Yeah, I actually did the same thing. It's about releasing. It's about letting all the baggage, letting all those, oh, that makes sense, thoughts fall away, so that we can finally get friggin' crystal clear with what our intuition is guiding us to. These are the sacred moments where we plant the seeds so that we can work the land and harvest the fruit later on. If we don't give ourselves the time to plant the seeds, there'll be nothing to harvest later. I know many of you want to go and you want to do and you want to act and perform and all these things, but if you don't take the initial step, if you don't think about what it's going to look like first, there'll be nothing to do later on. And then you're just going to wind up in a tizzy and do the busy work because you got to do something. But what if you allowed what you do to be a meaningful reflection of how you feel and what you want and the inspiration that came from opening up to receive it? You ladies feel the depth. I can feel you. All right. Let's talk about the seasons specifically. And then we're going to all right, good. And then we're going to call it a day. And I'm going to share your homework with you. So let's talk about the energy of each season. We talked about winter. Winter is a time of death. It's a time to let everything that you have defined yourself as, tried to do, fall away. It's a time of total restoration. And within ancient divine feminine wisdom and tradition, we don't believe in death being the end. We believe in death as the coming to a close of one cycle so that a new cycle can rebirth itself, right? Sure, the trees look pretty barren out there, but they have to so that they can come alive once again. When you go into goddess territory, talking about different energies associated with the goddess, there's a really cool, I don't know if some of you have heard this before, but it's called the triple goddess. I like thinking about the quadruple goddess. So there's the maiden, the mother, and the crone. The maiden represents that newness, like that spring energy. The mother represents the I got stuff going on. Like I know what I'm doing now. Like I'm gathering the wisdom and I'm doing a pretty good job. And the crone is all wisdom. It's yeah, I've been there, done that with all of it. And now I'm going to sit and allow myself to close this chapter so that I can begin again. But there's one, and I like putting the fourth one in there because we've got 4 seasons. There's the wise wild woman. So it's maiden, mother, wise wild woman, crone, where the maiden is the babe. She's the innocent. She's our inner child. And then the mother is the one who she's experienced some of life, but she's still got a lot to do. And then there's a wise wild woman where there's not so much nurturing responsibility going on anymore. It's time to just go and experience. There's a little bit more freedom there. And then the crone, who has been the maiden, she's learned all the things, who has been the mother, who has nurtured and taken care, who has been the wise wild woman and experienced life from there. And now the crone gets to sit and rest and relax so that she can begin again. Winter, I know it feels really dead. I know in the past you have braced yourself for impact, but we've got to remember that death does not mean the end. And actually, scientifically speaking, once energy is created, it can't be destroyed. So even if something dies, the energy still remains. Winter allows for us to flow into spring. Everything's had a chance to rejuvenate. Everything looks dead above, but under the ground, those leaves that fell, they're adding nutrients to the soil. There are the branches look stark, but the roots, because of the snow and the nutrients, it's soaking up more during the thaw from winter to spring than any other time of the year. There's that newness. There's that rebirth. The buds start to show up on trees. Ladies, you've got spring. This is actual logistical, like this happens every year, but I want you to think about within you. When do you feel spring? What do you feel like in spring? Throughout the course of a month, can you think about times where it feels like winter and then all of a sudden you start to feel yourself come alive again? There's that newness, there's that freshness. There's that mother quality where we're still young. We've still got a lot to learn, but now I can nurture. Because as the buds start to open up, what does it do? It allows for animals to be nurtured. It gives food to nature in different ways. And then we've got that fullness of summer, that vibrancy. Everything is alive. Everything is warm. It's easier to move, right? This is the full representation of that action time. It's time to go. It's time to go. Time to move. Time to take advantage of the rest that you took and then the preparation that spring brought. And now everything is green and lush. It's time to go. And then as we start to deplete a little bit, as our reserves run a little bit lower, everything starts to just slow down a little bit. It's like the wise wild woman, though. Some areas of life are slowing down, but you better believe we're bringing out the vibrancy. We're bringing out the color. Sure, we can start slowing down. I don't have to chase kids all over the place. But I'm not ready to be done just yet. It's time to ebb and to flow and to change and to embody this newness of self. And then once those reserves have been used, once the colors have begun to fade and the leaves have begun to fall, we ebb back into winter again. This cycle, ladies, we depend upon it. And the energy within each season is so sacred. What if you allowed yourself to sink to the energies and honor each season as it came? I'm honoring winter so much more deeply now than I ever have before. Sure, this is a very outward action challenge. Like, this is a lot. I'm giving a lot during this challenge, a lot of energy. I'm really participating. But the first 2.5 weeks of January were very still for me. So much so that I wanted to like push against it. I was feeling restless for a little while. But now I know that's old patterning. When I saw it, I said, "Oh, right. This is a time of rest. I've got a big energetic output coming. I'm going to give myself a chance to simply be and listen to the wisdom that Mother Earth, that Mother Moon is trying to relay to me during this time of more stillness, more openness, more allowance, because we got big work to do. But we've also got big work to be. Do we get that? Do we hear that? So, final notes. We're at 45 minutes. This is perfect. This is kind of what I was thinking today's training would be. The moon doesn't decide to stay full all cycle long. The seasons don't decide one will opt out this year, or we'll have a full year of just one season. We've got to trust ourselves and know that trust is what serves us. What if we knew? What if we worked with ourselves? What's the first step of working with our intuition? Listening. We've got to give ourselves the opportunity to listen. There are times to experience, but first we must listen. Ladies, when you say I'm too busy, there's too much to do, I'm constantly going, what you're actually saying is that you're not willing to participate with the full cycle. You only want to give and never receive. And just like we can't breathe out without breathing in, we can't be giving without receiving. And as you allow yourself to feel into that, what you're going to recognize is when you allow yourself to receive, to work with cyclicality, sync with the cycles, sync with the seasons, connect in with Mother Nature, there are naturally built-in times for you to receive so that then you can give, put out, do. But the law of energetic exchange declares that there must be equilibrium in that. And our intuition has been begging for her time. Sure, thinking logistically, thinking logically, we need to do that. And we also need to listen and trust. So, Anna, I'm booking a massage now. That's excellent. So, ladies, your first little bit of homework is a reflection for you, but it's also a call to action. What I'm going to do in the Facebook group, or if you're watching this replay and you're only seeing this on email, you can email this to me. But in the Facebook group, I'm going to put up a day 2 homework, because today is day 2. Day 2 homework. And I would love for you to reflect upon your feelings toward the seasons in the past and what you would like for yourself in the future. You can either type it out right on your computer and copy and paste it. You can grab your journal and write it in there and take a picture. Do whatever feels good. But your homework is, because again, this is the awareness piece. How have I felt during each season in years past? How do I want to feel in the future? Seasons. We're talking seasons here. And then the call to action for you is to start tracking how you feel either based on your female cycle or the moon cycle. Start tracking. Grab a notebook and start tracking. Make today day one if you want. Actually, what's a really cool thing is make today day one, because we've got a full moon on Thursday. And it'll be really cool to see how you feel between now and then. So homework is reflection back. How have I felt in past seasons? How do I want to feel? Sharing that in the group. And whoever shares, I will put your names in a pretty little hat or something. It'll probably be a coffee mug. And I'll pull a name and I will send a prize to whoever participates with that. Prizes are going to be whatever I feel like. They could be a gift card somewhere, essential oil. I'm a doTERRA wellness rep. I don't know, maybe a crystal. We'll see. We'll see what I feel like. I'm gonna surprise you. I want to keep this simple and light and fun, but I do want to reward you for showing up and doing this work because it's amazing. All right, my loves, deep breath. Beautiful. Thank you for being here. Questions, tag me. And actually right now I will go to anyone that said they wanted the link. I'll go grab my affiliate link for this and you can get it right on Amazon, which is great. So I will talk to you later. I'll be in the group all day. So if you've got questions, tag me. I'm going to go create the thread for day 2 homework. And remember that I created a hub for you. So you can always go back and watch the replay in the Facebook group, but you can also visit my website and catch I'm going to add all the replays as soon as I'm done. So you'll have them by the end of this week. We'll have 8 videos for you to watch and reconnect with. So loving you all. Happy Monday. So proud of you. You are worth trusting your intuition, friends. You are worth syncing with cyclicality and the seasons. And did anybody notice that all the trainings are S or C's, like cyclicality, seasons, soul sisters, sacred conversations, whatever they were. But I like alliteration like that. So here we go. Okay. Love you, ladies. Have a great day. Bye, friends.